So I want to talk about the famous 180 rule.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I know with them, I've had conversations with them where we usually meet people out of film school
Let's
or
break this
or
motherfucker.
people
Yeah.
following what they've learned, right? When they're first
Yeah.
into it, you follow the 180 rule, right? And I know with you guys, there's been multiple times where it's like
We're like,
really, it doesn't matter,
Wait, can we turn
in this instance. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on like, all briefly, the three of you, like why, whether it's to follow the 180 rule or when you think it's okay to break it, and obviously everyone always talks about The Shining in that bathroom
Yeah.
scene, right? Whether why it worked there or why it didn't work, right? I think some people argue that. But anyway,
We just recently watched a movie called Heat, and they intentionally break it in almost every scene. Now, I do think the rules there.
This
for
is
a
the one
reason.
with Robert De Niro.
Robert De
Yeah,
Niro.
that's
It's like
it's Robert De
everybody.
Niro.
Robert De
yeah,
Niro,
that's a
Al
great.
Pacino.
That's a
Danny
great.
Trejo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just an awesome film.
Yeah, it's a
you know?
great film.
But they do this dolly shot where they start the scene behind,
Every scene has it.
and then kind of when the actors start conversing, there's a point where they switch it and they break it.
It's
and
right when they kind of start
yeah.
connecting.
Yes, it changes
The
how
dynamic.
you feel.
Yeah.
Now the 180 rule is there for a reason, so people don't get lost or confused. But if you know how it works and how to use it to make people feel something, that's a good thing. I feel like maybe I didn't go to film school, but maybe film school maybe emphasizes that the 180 rule is like
Yeah.
not to be broken. I don't know if they tell you, oh, you should use this and then break it. I don't know what they say in film school.
Our cinema, Glenn Peck, our cinematography professor, he was kind of a wild. He was always like smoking a cigarette. He was always,
so it's cool.
Yeah, he was always like.
Austin wants to smoke.
Yeah.
That's my goal this year.
He had like long blonde hair, and
he broke the 180 rule for sure.
And he was like, he'd be. I can hear him like, you break that. You just break that fucker.
Yeah.
He was kind of like
you 180 that.
He was like, he was like the embodiment of Matthew McConaughey in True Detectives. He's like, look, man, if you're just
with the long hair,
but yeah, long blonde hair and had like the beard and but our other professors were very like, they harped on it. I think I think you as a filmmaker with techniques or principles, I think you need to fundamentally know them
Yes.
before
Yeah.
before you're comfortable enough to take those creative liberties, because
Exactly.
the purpose of the 180 rule is so the viewer, like you said, they spatially don't get confused.
Yeah.
But stylistically, it limits you if you just always stick to it.
Because I hate when we get on set and we're working with this DP and they're like, oh, does this break the 180 rule? And we sit there and try to decide if it breaks the 180 rule. I'm like, no, it doesn't. But if you want to, and that's your intent, go ahead.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I have to tell them that. So
yeah. And all the film school kids.
it's a
on
pet
set,
peeve of ours.
They're like, oh my gosh, this is
They're
breaking.
like, oh my god, it's breaking the 180 rule.
Yes.
Exactly like
oh
that.
my god, this is not what I learned. You know what I mean? Like,
And you're like, no, it's not.
Like, hey,
you don't
calm
even...
down. Have a bottle of water.
It is
Yeah.
a pet peeve of ours.
That is a big pet peeve of ours. Big. Dan knows. That's why he brought it up.
That's why we're talking about it.
Because it's a good thing to talk about too.